che ci pensa che ti mantieni.
Good steel for your hunt. Furs for the winter. Furs for the winter. Keep moving. Fresh fish, best price in the harbour.
I will take 2 barrels.
Clear the way, runner.
Hear ye! The assembly calls for all able-bodied men!
Let go of my arm, you traitorous scum! I'll see you hang for this!
No stamps! Taxation without representation! We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.